All right, this is a very brief guideline on how to interact with the new CBT. So please, I would like you to follow me step by step. I am using a PC, and to be very honest, the best device to use so as to have a very stressless experience is to use the PC. But if it is a mobile device that we have in hand, or that can be uh, very quick to lay hands on, we can still make use of it. So please, without wasting any much time, let's just go straight to it. So once you go to cbt.tregeoschools.com, this is the first interface, the landing page that you get to see. So though this is not what actually matters, but at least I just have to show us what we've got there. So having done that, you go straight to either clicking get started or clicking login. So I'm clicking on login, and this is where it brings us to, which is the login interface. So I'm going to be making use of one of our teachers login details. So let me use Mrs. Sheidu's login details. So immediately you fill the username and the password. If we are using our device, it is advisable that we click on remember me so that next time when we come back to the site, we remain logged in. So we click on login. So this is our dashboard as a teacher, a subject teacher. If we are able to get to this page, on this page for each and individual teachers, subjects would have been assigned to us. Take for example, we can see the subject assigned to Mrs. Sheidu: Government SS1, Government SS2, History, GS1, GS2, GS3, and SS1. And if peradventure we are not seeing some subjects that we teach in the class on our dashboard, we can let Mr. Degoke be aware of it, so it will be fixed. So we have no reason to panic or to be worried. So having landed on our dashboard, so we can go, navigate around. But what matters, what matters most is to go and add questions. So we can make use of the button that my cursor is, hovering around, which is add. What are we adding? Add question. Or we click on our side bar menu on the left hand side, click on that question bank and add question. It will still mean the same thing. So I'll make use of this button add. So once I click on the add question, we have two options: single question, that is create one question at a time. Then we have bulk questions, create multiple questions quickly in one session. Because of the numbers of questions that we need to add and the limited time we have, I will advise that we make use of this bulk question. There are three different methods of adding questions on this new CBT. The first one is the single question method. The second one is the bulk question method. That is not all. If I go back to the question bank by clicking on back to question bank, and I find myself here, there is still this method, which is the third one, which we can make use of. So if I click on bulk create, it is different from that bulk question. That one is different from this, the bulk question which I spoke about earlier. If you ask me which one do I recommend? I recommend this bulk create. So let me just go back to the dashboard. So we're in the dashboard. You want to create question, just click on question bank, then go to add question. Once you land on this particular page, this shows you the questions that you've created before, and the questions we are seeing is just used to test. We used it to test the system, so it is not created by the teacher herself. So the method which I already told you that is recommended is to make use of this bulk create. So please make use of this bulk create. It will help and will make the creation of the question be more faster. So I will just click on bulk create, and once I click on bulk create, this is the interface of bulk create, and as we can see, we have just question 1, and you can see I can collapse this question panel to give me more room to create more questions without leaving this page. So I'll pick my subject. It is only the subject that has been assigned to us as a subject teacher that will be listed here. So government is one of the subjects, or let me say history. I'm picking history. So then I pick the class I want to create subject for. Apparently, Mrs. Sheidu is teaching history in all these classes as listed. And another thing I need to show us here is that, take for example, the classes that have sections like SS1, SS2, and SS3. We're all aware that they have section, they have the science, they have the arts, they have the commercial. If we are to create question for a class that has section in which 2 or 3 sections are going to share the same question, take for example mathematics. If the history I've just picked here, let's say it is mathematics, let's say it is mathematics question, and I need to create question for SS1. And do not forget that mathematics is a general subject, probably being taught by just a teacher. But in the list of our class, we're going to have SS1 Arts, SS1 Science, and SS1 Commercial. Does it now mean that we'll start creating the question one after the other for each section? No. In that case, if I'm to create a question, if my subject is a general subject that involves more than one section, maybe 2 sections, for example, this history, probably it is art and commercial that are offering this history, and Mrs. Sheidu wants to create question for both of them. As a teacher teaching both of them, all she needs to do is to bring a cursor here and toggle on this assign to multiple classes. By default, it is not toggled, and that is why we can see that I can't pick more than one class at a go. We can see that we can pick more than one class at a go. But once we toggle on this assign to multiple classes, then we have the benefit or the opportunity to pick more than one classes. So all she needs to do is to just click on SS1 Arts, SS1 Commercial. And once she has picked that, that is all. Any question she creates will be assigned for both classes. So she doesn't need to create questions for SS1 Arts separately, SS1 Commercial separately. Just the one she's about to create will be assigned for the 2 classes because she is the one teaching the 2 classes and she wants her question to be the same for both classes. So having done that, then we move to this exam type. Then we click on exam type. Apparently, by the time we would be interacting with this interface, it would have been changed from first CA to second CA. All right. Having done that, the next thing is to start adding our question. Like I said earlier, we can see that it has just one question interface form. So if we need to add more, once we finish with this first interface, all we need to do is just to collapse it and click on here, add question. Then it will add another interface. So we can be on this page and add the 15 questions or 10 questions or 20 questions before we click on create all questions. So this is the advantage of this bulk creation method which I have recommended. So if we go back to when we started, when I clicked on add from the dashboard, we'll see that it has 2 options, single question, bulk question. If we had clicked on that single question, we will have to be adding our question one after the other. You create one, you submit, you continue, you create one, you submit, you continue. But this one, it gives us the room to put in all information about all our questions at a go and then click on create all questions at once. So what am I going to do here is I'm just going to quickly go through. I'm going to provide a question. Question number one. Nigeria got independence in the year dash. So this is a question, peradventure suitable for history in SS1, for SS1 art and commercial. So then I just pick question type, multiple choice. We have different types of question type, but I would advise that for now we should be limited to these first three: the multiple choice, true and false, or yes or no question type. So I'm going to be picking multiple choice. My question is easy, and if I'm to create 15 questions, okay, I think the total mark for the second CA is 20 marks. So if I'm to create questions for that total mark, which is 20 marks, and I want it to be 1 mark, it then means I'm going to be creating 20 questions. If I want it to be 2 marks, it then means I want to be creating 10 questions. If I also want to create questions that will have different marks, then it then means I have to take note as the questions are being created, meaning that if it's going to be maybe 7, the ones that I assign 3 marks, the ones that I assign 4 marks, I have to take note maybe in a sheet of paper, so that at the end of the day, when I am able to complete the 20 marks, I will know that, okay, or probably in any of our booklets where we have the questions, we should have assigned the marks and arrived at the numbers of questions that will give us the aggregate 20 marks before we start creating, so that as we are creating, we just be ticking it. So, and that is that. But because this one is just for a test, you want to create total marks of 20 total mark 20 total mark, then maybe we want to create 10 questions, and each question will be 2 marks. So here we are being asked for time limit for each question. We may just ignore that one. Then explanation on our question, if we need to add explanation that can guide the students in being able to answer the question, we may put it there. Then if we have custom instruction, we may just ignore all this one and come to the options. So we can see that we have option A, option B alone, but maybe we want 4 options. All we need to do is to first input our first option. Let's say my first option is 9060, then my second option is 9050, then I want to add more 1914, then I want to add more 1999. So I've added 4 options. I have to pick the correct one so that the system can understand which one is going to use as a yardstick to evaluate the student. So what I do is that if 1960 is the answer to my question as a teacher and I'm very sure, then I just pick the correct answer as against or that correspond to the option which is correct. 1960 is here, then correct answer. I check on the checkbox that is in front of that 9060, and having done that, I don't need to create all the questions for now because I still have a long way to go. So all I need to do is just collapse this and add another one. So let me just say Nigeria will be 65 years old in 2025. Nigeria will be 65 years old in 2025. You see, this second question do not require me to be picking subjects, picking classes, no, picking exam type. So that is the advantage of this bulk create. Unlike if it were to be single, once I submit the first one, I will have to pick some other things, few things. So this one is very convenient. So all I need to do is just pick true and false. easy, my question is easy, then I want to make this one 2 marks. So, and that is all. So we have option here. Since it is true and false question type that we are picking, then it's giving us options that relate with the question type. So is it true or false? Meaning that is it true that is correct or it is false? So obviously uh, Nigeria will be 65 years old in 2025. So happy independence to everyone. So it is correct, it is true. So I collapse this one. I had another one. Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State. Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State, while Oshogbo is the capital of Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State, while Oshogbo is the capital of. So this question, I want it to be a multiple choice question. It's easy, then it's 2 marks. All right. Then I come to my option. The first one is Edo State. So Ebonyi State. Then I had option Osun State. Lagos State. And as we all know, Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State, correct. Oshogbo is the capital city of Osun State. So as against Osun State, I will just click on correct. So the system will understand that, okay, it is Osun State that is correct. So I think with these three, I can just click on create all questions so that we can see. So we can continue. We can see question 1, question 2, question 3. The page is not loading. We've set the subject. We've set the classes that, these subjects should be assigned to. We've picked the exam type. Then all I need to do is just create all question. So as we create the question, it's going to create. But the problem here is that this account I'm using is not assigned to SS1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change I'm going to change the subject to government. So we all get all we need to do. So I'll change it to government, and I'll click on SS1 art and SS1 commercial, and quickly I'm going to rush. I'm not going to wait. Nigeria capital city is, I'm not going to waste time there. Nigeria capital city is, okay, 2 marks, multiple option, Abuja, Lagos, Abidjan, London. And as the answer is this one, I'm going to just collapse that one, add another one. Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State. So this one will be true or false. So it's easy. This one is 2 marks. So I'm okay with that. So Abeokuta is truly the capital of Ogun State. So let's say we've created 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions and everything like that. So I'll just click on create all question, and that is all. The question has been created. Are we getting it now? So capital city is, this is the question that we created just now, the 2 of them we can all see. And one thing that I need to bring to our attention is that we can see SS1 multi-class question. This shows that that single question is assigned to more than one classes. So if we view the question, we will see that Nigerian capital city is dash The answer is Abuja, as we can see in green. And if we come to the class, we will see the information of the classes that the question is assigned to. All assigned classes: SS1 Arts, SS1 Commercial. So that is just what I need to show us about that one. And that's the second question too. The same thing. It's also assigned to 2 classes. So that is how we. So if we've we've been able to uh, type 15 questions. So that's how our 15 questions will be listed on this question bank. So we should make sure that all our questions is already inside our test. Our notebook or any exercise book, we have it so that we'll be able to, create it once. So I've deleted the previous questions that we used to test it, and these 2 questions that I've just created now is what we have now. So that is how simple it is. So if I want to create for another subject, we can see that this is just government. I will just click on create, bulk create. Now, before I end this section, I would like to also make us to be aware of added advantage which this new interface come with, or new CBT application comes with from the stable of peculiar digitals. We can make use of AI to set our questions, but this is the catch. Using AI to create your questions will require that you vet whatever the AI is creating. So once the AI creates, we are given that opportunity to vet it, to edit, to change. So the purpose of using AI is just to give us insight. Are we getting it now? To give us insight so that in cases whereby we are not just, how do I put it now? Like we don't have that uh, we are left with little inspiration of how to create questions on a certain topic. So we are cracking our brain instead of uh, making use of the time we have for productive things like teaching, preparing lesson notes. So we are cracking brain on creating questions. So that is why this AI is being created, and the feature is, you know, the feature is enabled. Obviously, it can be disabled by the admin. So it depends on what the school want and what the school do not want. But it is, for me, it is very okay. We're in the world whereby AI is uh, uh, more or less serving as an assistant to our productivity. So what am I trying to drive at is that once we decide to use this AI, we must be very careful, and we ensure that we vet it. Now, quickly, this is how we go about it. From the admin uh, portal, or let me say from the admin dashboard, AI API key has been added, but that AI API key is limited. I will be following, I will be, vetting, I'll be going through to check when we get to the limits. So once we get to the limit, I will provide another API key. But if we are that tech savvy, we can make use of any of these provider, and if we can get the API key, of course, this is going to even show us how to get the API key of any of the provider that we that we select. As I've selected Google Gemini, if I click here, it will tell me how to get Google Gemini, meaning that, or even if it will tell me how to get API key of any of the providers that is listed there. So if I want to use Grok, I will just click on this link, click on this link, click on this link, click on this link, get registered there, then I will get my API key. So once they give me the API key, all I need to do is select model. If I've chosen Google Gemini and I have my API key, I may just click on Gemini 1.5, then I put the API key here. But because I know that most of us may not want to go through this stress, already the admin has added an API key that can be useful for every one of us. So that is why under this AI provider, let's just choose open router. So once we choose this open router, then we move to to select this Mistral Nemo. Mistral Nemo. We can choose on Mistral Nemo, we can choose on this Llama 3.23 billion free, any of the two. So Once we choose this one, then we don't need to even bother about maybe API key or API key. I mean, API key is typed there or not. No, we don't need. And if you want to test, we can just click on test connection. So we can see connection successful. So if we are the one to provide the API key, let's say it is not open router, maybe in the course of everybody using it, it get to the limits, and we want to try our luck by providing our own API key out of our own registration. Once we pick the provider, we pick the model, we provide the API key there, we must click on test AI connection to see if it's going to work before we even bother ourselves. So this one is working. I don't need to provide AI API key. It has been provided on the admin dashboard. So I click on government. I want this question I'm about to create to also be assigned for more than one classes. So I just pick on SS1 arts and SS1 commercial. Please, we must be very careful. I should have added it. If we are adding question for more than one class, it should only be limited to a class. A class I mean SS1. A class I mean SS2. A class I mean SS3. Do not let us, we shouldn't, assign question to two classes. We are assigning question this way because it is still the same class. It's just that it is different section, different departments. So I shouldn't have a situation whereby I will be adding a single question to SS1, SS2, and then SS3. No, 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 no. It won't work that way. We don't want it that way. We want us to be limited to just a class, but two section or two department or the three departments. So not to waste our time, which type of question do I want to create? Multiple choice. How many questions? And we can see here the max question that we should create at once is 20. In fact, I will advise that we should limit to 10. But for the purpose of this training, I'm going to limit to 5. So which topic in government do I want AI to bring me question? I want AI to bring me questions uh, on rule of law. So now I've given AI the topic. If I want AI to streamline the question to a certain or to some certain subtopics, then I'll have to list those subtopics, and as I type one, I put comma, type the other, I put comma, type the other. It will help AI to streamline the setting of questions based on the subtopics. But I wouldn't want to put, or let me say I won't put any subtopics there. If I have a reference link, maybe there is a page on the internet where there are contents that I would like AI to pick some of the questions from. I can pick the reference links here. And if I also have added instructions, take for example, if I'm creating for SS3 student, I can decide to say WAEC standard. WAEC standard. Make it WAEC standard. So that is just added instruction. And I want each mark for each question to be two marks. So all I need to just click is generate questions. So once I click on that generate question, we can see that the button has changed to generating. So AI is busy generating the question, and in just few seconds the questions has already been generated. So we can see generated question one: which of the following body is responsible for interpreting the law in Nigeria? So we have the option. Another thing I want us to be very careful about here is that AI can not be 100% correct. If we come here, if we read this, the question generated by AI are for guidance and should be carefully reviewed and verified for accuracy. AI models can make mistakes. Estimated AI accuracy is around 85 to 95%, but this can vary based on the complexity of the topic imputed. If our topic is very, confusing, all of that, AI can make mistake. Please double check the generated questions and the selected answers before using them. Don't forget you can edit each of them. There is an edit icon beside I will show us all these things. I just want us to know all this, that AI giving us question and providing answer is not automatically 100% correct. AI can make mistake, but for the few ones that we can see here, anyone that is probably not correct, so we can just, this is the first one, we come to this, we bring our cursor here, we just click on edit. So once we edit, we can say that we can add more to the question. We can reframe the question since AI has given us insights on that certain question. So we can decide to add more. We can decide to, change the options. Then we can decide to change the correct answer. And how do we do that one? We just, change from Supreme Court to maybe Senate, change from Senate to Supreme Court. So are we getting it now? So that is how to edit the uh, questions generated and the answers picked by the AI. So once we are done with it, there is no button to save. We just leave it like that. Once we've edited it based on what we want, we just stroll to the next question. If we need to edit it too, we click here. If we need to edit it, we click here. If we need to edit, if it's not correct, who is responsible for making laws in Nigeria? The National Assembly. So the rule of law requires that the law are publicly known and accessible. True. So once we are okay with it, we just click on save all questions. Questions saved successfully to 2 classes. So we can then now go to the questions. So I'll just click here, go to questions. So boom, this is all the questions I've just created. We shouldn't forget that we only have 2 questions which I created manually, but with the help of AI, government, and let me just click on the preview, we can see that AI, just like we've assigned on the AI generation, generator page, SS1 at SS1 commercial. So AI has helped us to generate 5 questions in just less than 1 minute. So if that one is helpful for us, we can go ahead and make use of it. So that is just all, and I I believe that we would have a very easy time making use of it because it's not that stressful compared to the interface we're using before. So now let's say we are using phone, we have to be patient. We have to be patient, but I advise that we use our mobile devices. So thank you very much for your time and all of that. So, after you might have created question, we might take time to go through every other things that we have on the system. So thank you very much. So I'm signing out. God bless you.